I wish I had something to say here, but I really don't. Let's just get into the video. Back in Asia, many other countries were starting to take up the communist influence, including China and North Korea. After World War II, Korea was divided in half, with the North siding with the Communists and the South siding with the West. They decided half of a country wasn't enough, and on June 25th, the North completely raided the South. With help from the Soviets, the North absolutely destroyed them. Within a couple of weeks, the South was shoved all the way to Busan. That's when the US interfered and completely shoved the North Koreans out. Then they continued up the Korean peninsula, killing everything and everyone in their way, doing more damage than the North Koreans ever did. China was worried the West, already occupying most of Korea, was going to just keep going into their territory. So they do the only logical thing and sent 1 million Chinese soldiers to go help the North. They pushed the US all the way back to the place where it all started, and the war ended in a draw, mainly because they didn't want to go nuclear on them. They actually thought about dropping the bomb, but it was called off because they knew the communists would just retaliate. And just like that, Eisenhower is the new president of the United States. And just like that, Nikita Khrushchev is the new president of the Soviet Union. Khrushchev, as a Stalin hater, started this program called de-Stalinization. I think you already get the gist of it. At this point, the two sides were getting awfully suspicious of each other, so they sent spies to gather more information. The Soviets had spies placed everywhere around the US, and whenever an American spy was sent into Russia, he was always sniped out of midair. Meanwhile, the Warsaw Pact was established with the USSR and 7 Eastern Bloc states forming a military alliance. However, Hungary wants to democratize and tries to withdraw from the Warsaw Pact. But when they tried to pull out, the Soviets invade and crush the uprising. Then the Soviets launched the first satellite, officially making them ahead in the space race. To make matters bigger, after that, they literally shot a dude into orbit. If the whole situation wasn't crazy enough, a small country in the Caribbean was also beginning to follow the communist influence. This guy and this guy decided they should find the longest cigars they could possibly find and overthrow the Cuban government. The US feared a communist stronghold being set up only 90 miles from Florida, so they quickly made a move to take down Castro. Immediately, they started training some Cuban exiles to go and fight the new communist Cuba for them. But right on the day the exiles were supposed to attack, the US just absolutely ditched them on the island, without giving them any supplies. And just like that, the Bay of Pigs invasion was a total fail. Although the US was aware of how close Cuba was to them, they didn't see it as much of a threat. Little did they know, the Soviets and the Cubans were plotting something much more sinister.